Hi, and there's no sorting it out now. But come through, darlings. Siseba Zuluin. We are in the clouds, roof ceilings. What can we do? Guys, I hope you are good. I hope you are well. It's been a while. Yes, hungry, guys. I'm not 100, so I'll try and be as brief as possible. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos in my absence. I think I've been absent for a week or so. And yeah, normally I come through on a Saturday, but I said, sorry guys, come what may, I'll be live today. So I've got a bit of flu that is now clearing after all the concoctions. Just bear with me. I just want to pass on this message, which I think is so. It will benefit someone in terms of reading and understanding your insurance documents. So if you belong to this family, thank you for staying here. I truly appreciate. If you are new, you are most welcome. Let us kickstart. You know, as human beings, as people, I hope we all push to try and acquire assets, more assets than liabilities. And what's important is that once you acquire those assets, you need to protect them. And we protect our assets through insurances, different types of insurances. You can insure your life, you can insure your car, insure your house, insure your voice, those who uses their voices. Guys, there's insurances for days. Your animals, there's people who have insurance for their fish one, coil fish. Is it coil fish? The most one of the expensive fish. So your rings, there's insurance for everything. And today I want us to talk about how we take things for granted when we go and apply for insurance, and it can backfire. I came across this a video on TikTok. And guys, please do come in and like, even if you find me that I'm no longer live. Please do like, and those who do like, I truly appreciate. So this lady, and I want us to talk about this. Oh my word, why did I go out now? Okay, let's see if I can bring it up. So this lady, so it's part one. I hope it's clear. I'm trying to claim this. It's part one to part three. So this lady was sharing about ordeal, her own ordeal about her car. So what's her name? Caroline Woodley. So she was just telling us about what happened. And we're talking about reading your insurance contracts, reading up your insurance documents after you are protecting your assets or liabilities. So she went to e-car wash to drop off. So I'll just summarize. And yes, guys, forgive me if I get some of the things incorrect, because, broken telephone. When someone has told their story and someone else tells the same story, by the time it gets to the fourth, second, fifth, 100th person, it's not the actual story anymore. Hi, Bonsile. Hi, Zababata. Oh, my usuals, my children who are always here. So the lady went and dropped off her car with car wash for her car to be washed. As per usual, guys, people work hard. Gone are the days where they'll spend Sundays listening to soul music and washing their cars. Times have changed. People are pushing it dime. Things are different now. So if you can take your car to a car wash, why not? Some people have gardeners. As your gardener come to do your garden, they wash your car. So in her case, she took her car to a car wash to get washed. And guys, she does mention the model of her car, but yeah, we'll get to that later on. I can't remember the model anyway, but we'll talk about the value of that car. She left the car. She went about her day, and when she came back to collect her car, she was told, but you sent someone to collect your car, and her car was given. the car keys were given to a stranger who pretended to be sent by her, and the keys were handed over, and the person drove away with the car. Sad situation. And guys, it can happen to anyone. It's an awareness as well. But in this case, she's trying to warn us in terms of our insurances. And I've always wanted to do in life, we would say, know what you are paying for on a monthly basis. When you take that insurance, guys, don't just think I've done my part, I've signed on the dotted line, that's it. Read the documents so that you're not caught by surprises when you want to claim. And insurance are in the business of insuring those liabilities and assets. So if there's a claim, it's easier for them to say, sorry, we can't pay for this claim because according to clause what, it's an exclusion. So know what you are signing up for. Felicious, but Mr. I miss you every second. I miss you too, Evie. So when she went and collected the car was gone. The car had been stolen by someone who pretended to have been sent by her. Obviously, it was a shock to her. She then had to take the matter further, open a case, and try and sue, or claim rather, from the actual car wash. And they said, unfortunately, they can't pay her claim, or I think initially she went to her insurer, the car insurer, but said they can't pay, and then went to and sent her, because it's third party, sent her to a car wash. And guys, if you've got a business of a car wash, make sure you give the car keys to the owner. If someone comes and say, so and so said I must collect this car, refuse. Now when you have something, yes, there's always those signs that parked at own risk, washed at own risk, which means if someone reverse your car at a car wash and bump it, it's your problem, But if you are an owner and you own a car wash, just look after your customers as well. Cover us. Take extra precautions. This people are hungry. I don't want to say in South Africa, in the world, it can happen anyway, And when she then tried to claim, because her insurance company, and she mentions it, good video, refuted the claim and said it has to do with a third party. And if you've got an insurance cover for your car, go and check a clause which is called crickery clause. Crickery clause, and read it and see when will they pay and what will they is the insurance gonna say refuse to pay. So go through your insurance document. And guys, I'm not a guru in terms of insurances, so it's a disclaimer. This is a mother talking to her children and just giving tips and saying watch out and raising awareness. Kusasa you mustn't say about crickery clauses, so this and this. Go and do your stuff. But what's more important is to ensure that you know what you are covered for, and you know exactly which parts of a cover will be refuted the day you claim. So she went to the car wash, logged her claim, or submitted a claim through a car wash. After, guys, so much headache. You can just imagine, because even her broker was not calling her back. It was a mess, guys. And the car, it was a new car, so it had a huge balance still. And that's the thing. In most cases, when someone steals your car, when you are in an accident, you find you're still owing the bank. It's not a paid up car. I used to drive a paid up car, which is, when people ask what's the best car, always say a paid up car, a car that you don't own a cent. Even if you've paid off your car, you don't want to find yourself now struggling to recover or finding money to go and buy another car. So especially if you only have one car, it becomes a nightmare. So again, guys, to cut the long story short, the car wash insurance. Luckily, they had an insurance. I can just imagine the other ones that are in back rooms or back doors, which most probably they don't even have insurance. It's like being bumped by someone who doesn't have insurance and they tell you, oh, sorry, and that's it. But if you can sue, you can. And the question is, does that person even have assets for your lawyers to attach? So after back and forth and headaches, sleepless nights, the car wash insurance paid, but they were not paying the full amount. And guys, this is a brand new car, a car that cost over R1 million, a car that cost over R1 million. So she had a shortfall that had to come out of her own pockets. She was grateful. She does express that ukuthi she's grateful. Ukuthi she doesn't have to pay the bank the full amount, because that would have been another thing. And guys, these are some of the things that are drawbacks in our lives. When you take an insurance that doesn't comprehensively cover you, whether it's health insurance, whether it's car insurance or house insurance, you find what you only, in terms of house, you only covered the items, the content that's in the house. And when the house burned down, you don't have a cover for that. You know how long or how that incident can set you back, how many years it will take you to rebuild a house that was already built up and running, structures strong, furnitured, and you were living in a peaceful life. You end up having to go ask for a space to sleep and uyohlala nama-family members. So know what you are paying for. So she's grateful. And the shortfall, go part 3, because I've listened and watched 3 parts of her videos. The shortfall from what the car wash insurance will be paying towards the bank, her shortfall is 188,000 rands. Guys, 188,000 rands is 188,000. Why it sounds so wrong? 188. It sounds like I'm saying 188 rands. 188,000 rands is a lot of money, guys. Even if you are working, you've got an awesome job, it's money you didn't most probably save for, you didn't invest for, because you were under the impression that your insurance will cover you. So go and look at that thing that is called Crickery, if I'm saying it correctly, a clause, and see what it says about a third party for your own insurance, because we all have different insurance companies that, or third parties that we use. And in her case, trickery clause, go and check it. And this is just an awareness that trickery clause applies to when you leave your car with a third party, be it car wash. Your insurance will most probably refute the claim. Be it you leave your car with a car wash, you leave your car with a mechanic, and something happens to your car. And we know those guys. We know some of those guys. I don't want to say all of them. You know, one of my neighbor one day took his car. The car wasn't even in an accident. It just needed to be checked and all that. The next thing, the bell rang. The person who intercom says, I'm from what do they call, service center, car center. Oh, that's where he left his car. He says as he walked outside, imoto yakhe that, what you call those towing truck. Eh? Now he is confused. I drove my car to these guys. Why is my car now coming back on top of this Mursa huge towing truck? It was smashed. One of the mechanics took it and drove around with it. And they do drive our cars. So please know, with that clause, there's an exclusion. Good, if a mechanic, you leave your car with a mechanic to sort it out, and if a mechanic drives your car and is involved in an accident, your insurance is not gonna pay. If you take your car to service, go find out and ask them. But especially if you guys are driving these big cars that cost over $1 million. For me, now, even a car with 200,000, I'll die. I'll so be buried at the same time. 200,000, I come back, my 200,000 is no more. RIP. Because someone who was busy, a conductor in Lord, a service of my car, decided to take it and get some lunch. And guys, some are proper service centers with laws in places. Abangeke siyawazi, guys. It's the guy at the corner. So read your insurance contracts. Know ukuthi you are handing over those keys if something happens to your Mustang, to your Ferrari, to your Quid, because it's expensive for all of us. You know, often people will say, "Oh, such an expensive car." And someone else is saying, "Oh, such an expensive car," looking at your Polo. And cars, guys, are expensive. Of late, they are getting worse because even the entry level car cost a lot of money. We were talking about that with the previous live that we had, to say they cost around 200,000 entry I-10, you know, with no liters and them. So the last thing you want is to leave your car with a third party and you come back and something happened to your car. You rush to your broker, you rush to your insurance company, and you've got all the rights because you pay every month. You've got this amount that goes off your account, a premium without fail. It's been going off for the past 3 years. Now you say it's time to get what I've been paying for. Guys, and we all know it's a grudge payment, but when you need your insurance, you expect it to come through. But if there's a third party involved, you might find yourself outside. We rain, we mad. Be very careful. Be very careful with these insurances. And guys, we know someone who's had a story trying to claim and the insurance company refuted. Whether you were claiming for funeral cover, you were claiming towards a life cover, there are stories for days. And guys, do not lie to your insurance companies. This is now outside what happened to this lady. This lady left her car, we car wash, came back, the keys were handed over to a stranger who pretended to know her and was there. Most probably he must have said, I saw briefly the I didn't check it in detail, the video footage where the keys were handed over to this guy who walked away with a car that cost over $1 million. And guys, there's nothing worse than, no, it's not a mimosa. No, guys, no, don't take your mom like that. Orange juice to try and heal this flu. It's already gone. There's nothing worse than paying for something that you no longer have. 188,000 that she must now pay, surplus or shortfall. It's a shortfall because the insurance is most probably going to pay whatever amount. It's a brand new car over $1 million, and she must still, out of her own pockets, pay the 188,000 rands for a car that she no longer has. She needs now to go and raise a deposit to get a brand new car, you know. And she even said in her case, she's grateful to God because she lives a comfortable life. You know, it means she's got an awesome job or awesome businesses or inheritance. Only God knows. She is able to pay that shortfall. Imagine someone who goes and buys a car, and then sits with this problem where you now have to pay a bank for a liability, number one, that you no longer have. Itshontshiwe imoto, the car has been written off, but because you didn't take the insurance that covers the whole amount, there's a word for it, it escapes me. Ukuthi, even if something happens, they're not gonna only pay 50% of loss yemoto. They're gonna pay the full 100%, and you and the bank part ways. Obviously, sadly so, heartbrokenly so, because now you are without a car. So uyahamba uyozikherezela wena your new ways of getting a new car. Instead of you are without a car, now you still owing a bank. Even if it's 50,000, guys, it's 50,000 that most probably you don't have. That's why again it's important when you are informed how much you qualify for. Don't get excited and take a debt exactly the amount that you qualify. Live way below your means. We talk about this all the time. It sets you free for life, guys. The feeling that you have when your lifestyle illa, but your body is here, is unexplainable. Try it, taste it yourself. I travel, and when I come back from traveling, people ask me, how was that country? What do you think? Guys, there are so many instances where I struggle to explain how the country was, how my experience was, how excited, how in awe I was left kuleyo country. The same thing applies, but uphila way beyond your means. I can't even sit here and explain it. Go experience it yourself and come back and tell me. We've spoken about the car. If you're gonna buy a car, guys, get in anything you thinking you're beating the system, that you're beating yourself, you're robbing yourself, you don't even have a car insurance, you're driving a car without insurance, without a license sometimes. Boy, oh boy, if you don't slaughter for your ancestors, those who believe, or you don't pray to a living God and you make sure God is 24 hours with you and doesn't turn and check your sister out and something happens, we'll soul. So those who don't have insurance at all, guys, woe on you. Because if something happens, the popes will dance. More especially if it's someone's assets. It's not even your asset. It's not even your liability. It's your liability. Asset here bank is still. I understand maybe someone who doesn't have insurance and they bought the car cash, they will deal with the loss. But it's the bank's car, but you're driving it without insurance. If something goes wrong, if you leave it at the car wash like this woman, you come back, that car is gone. Uyothi baba asabelepi. Yeah? Mina ngowabo washona. Owabo washona. Uyosabelaphi lapha e-Avalon? So guys, please think before you act. And there's no clever person on this earth. The life just has its way of catching up with you. We spoke about the car. When it comes to your house, make sure you understand what your home insurance pays for. There's home home insurance that's included good bond for some people. There's insurance when you are Guba sectional title, maybe for standalones. There's different insurances, estates, and all that. Read the documents. And guys, if you don't have the skill, surely you can get a lawyer. Pay, guys. There's payments or services that you pay once off. You need a lawyer to read a document and explain and make sure you are fully covered. I've done it with my other stuff where I approach a lawyer and say, is this contract airtight? But especially if I enter into a contract with someone and tomorrow I don't want to find myself with a headache and a stress and losing my money. I appoint a lawyer and I pay a once-off fee. And this person who went to school, can read the clauses. Doesn't matter how polished and posh your English is. When it comes to legal documents, it takes a tiny sentence or word to get you out. To kick you out of the system. So get someone who understands to read it, pay them that amount that you're going to pay for someone to read your car insurance document and make you understand, they're not going to pay if you're gonna be found smoking in that car is better than the amount you're gonna pay if when the claim is refuted or disputed and rejected, and you didn't know ukuthi the claim was gonna be rejected. So be on the safe side. Always get fresh pair of eyes, different skills, knowledge, and experience to look into your stuff, and then you can sleep like a baby at night. We've covered house, home insurance. Check what can be paid, because you will face floods only to find Gucci that's not covered in your insurance. There's exclusions. Most insurance companies have something that calls exclusions, which means that is excluded. There's insurance for life, or yes, or let's say for illnesses where they say dread diseases, they don't cover HIV and AIDS. Because it's an exclusion. If something happens to you, sometimes guys, they can even link anything. They will look and find that cough was HIV and AIDS related. Refute. Read, understand, and don't lie. If you smoke twice a week, don't lie when you take an insurance and say you don't smoke at all. Because guys, when you are ill and you are checked, you can't fool the technology. It's advanced. Maybe our great-grandparents could fool a system. Layer magic, guys. Lady Faga, these telematics in your cars, and the next thing you lie, you say, no, I didn't have a drink. Only for them to pull a video from that lounge where you were drinking nicely, and they can even tell you, Gucci, you had an ice tropez, quarter past 11. These things are here to put you in trouble in jail. So don't lie, because they're going to find out. They've got gadgets installed, trackers and software that tells them you went via to have glasses of wine. That's why you were in an accident. Then for the insurance, we will not pay. So if it's your car insurance, make sure you are fully covered. You know exactly what is excluded, what won't be paid, and put measures in place to cover if you find yourself in that situation. Pay extra to make sure that's also covered. You don't have 200,000, 300,000, 500,000 sitting somewhere waiting for you to pay for a shortfall while you struggle to even buy this car. You had to scratch lapha grocery shopping when you were doing income and expenses zakho. So be honest with yourself. Number 2, home cover, house insurance. Check, are taps included? If there's a leak, roof, is my geyser. Geyser is another devil. Will they pay for my geyser? Check the excess as well. Don't be excited. I only pay 200 rand. God, your excess is sitting on 15,000. If the tires burst. 3, funeral. Guys, get papa right. Funeral. Check. Funeral will do it separately. I want to help you. Sorry, guys. Understand, Gucci, why they won't pay. Reasons they won't pay. Sorry, guys. I'm not okay. And then what else? Life. Guys, check. Even funeral, check. Will they pay if it's an accident or only if it's a natural death? These are just high-level examples. Some people take accident cover. You die sleeping at home. Oh, this company is useless. But your funeral cover is only for accident, not for you to go get a natural cause. Life, check what will be excluded. I have my own exclusions because in terms of health, dread, illness, That gel I had IOP, so that was excluded. Luckily, I had my disability Tony covered prior to my op. If you whatever illness you had, you diabetic, you've got diabetes, it is excluded. Guys, you can lie all you want. They're gonna find out whether you contracted or you became diabetic in 2021, and it's gonna be excluded. And those premiums that you've been paying, you wish kube spare to have nice lunch because they won't even refund you. So when you're basically throwing your money in the river thinking you can crook the system. There's no crooking the system. Be honest, be transparent. They even at the end, they say, I so and so, and it says your full names. Yeah? Declare that you've provided the correct and accurate information. When you said you don't drink, guys. There's no crooking the books, and you cry foul. Yes, insurance companies, some of them take us for a ride. We've seen claims that were disputed and refuted for no reason, because now they're trying to cut losses and pay as less as they can after monthly months. It baffles me good why. But don't be now sorry when you know very well good when in your case you were trying to crook the books. Illnesses, this chronic, and I hope you do have a cover. As I speak, after this live, you go grab all your insurance documents and see what you covered for, what your clauses says, and if you're struggling, get your sister's son, your nephew, who's a lawyer, to check Uguchi you are safe. Get a professional lawyer if you don't have someone who's done law, proper law, and understands, can interpret in law and acts and exclusions. You're gonna check these illnesses, chronic illnesses. Go check. When will they pay you? When will they not pay? And with chronic or dread diseases, there's another word that they use which is much simpler than the terms that I'm using. Guys, always know it is, in most cases, it is linked to your life. So if so and so has a life cover and the disability cover, and you happen to fall ill with these listed chronic diseases, let's say cancer, totally cancer stage 3, for instance, you're no longer able to go to work, and your disability cover kicks in and they pay you out. Whether they pay you out $1 million, it's up to you, Gucci, how much cover again you're gonna take. And the more the cover, the higher the premium. We know that story. Please know, what if it's linked to your life? In most cases, it reduces the amount that will be paid out for a life. So if you've got this life insurance against your bond, home loan, and you happen to fall ill with these chronic diseases and you're unable to go to work and you claim and they pay you, go check how much did this claim reduce your life, and ishiya abantwana bakho ebaleni kangakanani manje, because maybe your bond is still sitting at 1.5 million and you had this life cover for 1.5 million and you thought it was going to cover the bond in case of your death. But because you've now claimed a disability which is linked, I'm not saying all of them, but I've heard which most are linked. Go check here, what's the shortfall after your payment or your claim, and make sure, your bond, you bring it up by taking another life cover or increasing this life cover. Very important. People fall ill, they claim for a disability, they get their money's worth, which they should because they've been paying, especially if they didn't lie about other illnesses prior to the illness that they have. So you can't lie. You say, I only found out I was diagnosed now recently with the cancer. You had wabagu remission. Yabuya. They're gonna find you guys. These systems are connected. There's no lying. That's why you get ebandulo. Yes, maybe you could. Now things are like this. Technology has a way of dealing with us, and certainly so. So if you manage to claim and you were able to pay off your bill because maybe even your medical aid had a shortfall and couldn't cover everything, go check your life. Is your life still okay? Because should you pass away and God forbid, that house is still owing 1.5 million. Those kids are still 4-year-olds. It's a 4-year-old child and a 7-year-old child. And you don't have any other assets to ukuthi abazozithengisa ngisho phela abalona ama-trustees wakho, and the executor of estate. What's going to happen to that house? The bank is going to take it. And where does that leave your house, your children? Guys, me that always pray to good Lord, and I know everyone does, but sometimes we die even through praying. Don't take me when my kids are still small. Angifuni ukuthi ozokhulisa umntana nathi sikhulele endlini zabantu. We are grateful. They taught us things or two, but guys, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Okay? We've got our own traumas, how we were treated. So don't leave your children go bad. Don't leave your children or go street because now you are not fully covered. They paid i-claim yakho ye-disability. Now your life it no longer covers, like how this woman's car was taken only to have a shortfall 188,000 rands. And guys, can I tell you something? With a bank, it's not your house unless you bought it cash. Even if you've paid it, let's say you took your home loan over 20 years and go year 19, something happens, whether a retrenchment or death, bank has no mercy, guys. They don't say, Shem, you're now only owing us 50,000 rands. It's okay, you can have this house for free. No. And if whether you've got debts from here to Makapanstad, where's the 50,000 rands gonna come from to help your kids to remain in that house? Pray that you've got supportive family members and you don't want to bet on that. Sort out your life while you are still able to. I spoke about medical or health insurance. Do the same thing. The fact that you are well and you are fit and you are eating healthy and you are popping, you are glowing like your mom, tomorrow is unknown. Go check. If you are diagnosed, how much will that health insurance pay you? What is excluded? Yeah? You find good, they will not fly you to America to that best doctor to do that operation. Please know, good, if you get this illness, you only covered maybe for our generics and not the chronic stuff. Because these medical aids or health insurances are different, guys. You can't sit and live your life that you did in school. You schooled, guys. Take your things serious. Don't go, hey, you are found now screaming and putting your hands, go head, guys, I can't even breathe. My child has just been diagnosed and now the medical aid is only paying. And guys, in most cases, they pay for a certain percentage. The rest must come out of your pocket. You're dealing with a diagnosis that has left you shocked because most of them come when we least expect them, when we think we are flying and life is good. Now it draw back, it slow it down. While you are dealing with the shock of a diagnosis, you must now deal with the shock of which you can't afford to treat this illness. Guys, rather carry a no-name branded bag and be sorted out in terms of your home insurance, life insurance, health insurance, your children's insurance. What's going to happen to them if God decides to call your name today? But the whole point of this video is to say, know what the clauses mean. Know in all the insurances that you have. Guys, we've got many. We cover so many things, and they are different for all of us, depending on our lifestyle, depending on who we are. Do we have kids? Are we married? In community, out of, are we raising other people's children? Guys, do we have cars? Do we have property? Do we have businesses? There's insurance for business to cover your assets, to cover your animals, your cats, your pigs. If you've got a farm, know what is excluded. Don't go and invest in a farm. You take your pension, you decide, hey, I'm no longer happy. Hey, corporate is toxic. People say that. And you take your money, you go buy a livestock. But you don't check what your insurance document states. Then go by the foot and mouth disease. All your animals are gone. You are left without a single pig, not a chicken, nothing. You must start afresh. This money that you took to buy that farm, you had worked for like 15, 20 years. You have less years left, most probably, than the years that you've already worked. And because you didn't bother with the importance of protecting your assets or protecting your goods and the stuff that we actually like to buy, you are now in trouble. Take your time. It's a Sunday. While you're sipping your drink, whether be it cocktail or water or juice like your mom, sit and chill and go through your documents, And if you need to see a certified independent financial advisor with Elorda, guys, go and see them, because we think we can DIY. You are heavy on funeral, especially as Africans. We are so obsessed about funeral cover, and you weak good life. Even your house will be, guys, will be taken by the bank because you don't have enough life cover. But that's the life cover, I mean, only 200,000, but you're sitting at a 2 million house. If something happens to you, the math is not mathing. So get someone who went to school who will tell you even your disability cover, and never undermine disability, guys. There's people who were up and running, or was in a hectic accident, from neck down. I can't move anymore. I used to play sports. When you don't have a proper, solid, where someone sat down and looked at your lifestyle and said, oh, you've got kids who are still in primary school, who still have so many years. If something happens to you, those children's lives can't stop. Is everyone now supposed to be to live with the disability because when you didn't take care of the unknowns? Speak to someone who knows this thing, who will say, no, you are heavy on this. Let's look into this. You are okay here, but I get quite happy retirement, so that you don't retire broke, man, guys. It's the worst thing. You've worked your whole life for what? Bese sowuzoloku ubamba ilona istaff, siyahamba siyophuza amakhofi. Hey, can I come with you? Hey, ngizongikhalela ikofi kanjani? And akunaba like how people do at their younger age etshwaleni. Hey, ngiyobamba ayi-2 lapha, but uyothengelwa abangani bakhe. You wanna be that person even through retirement. Take off your insurance, protect your assets accordingly, whether they are assets, liabilities, businesses, whatever you own. It's a sure ukuthi protected. Nothing worse than today you've got this awesome car, tomorrow you have nothing to show because life happened. And life does happen. Life does happen. Happy Sunday, Baba Gushu Aviwe. Hi, Sweetie Pie. My sister, I miss you every second. Agazi ngesekwenzakaleni. I hope you can still hear me. Hello, Baba Wetu. Thanks for the awareness. Thank you, pleasure, precious. Guys, in the song is about ingenzani lokho phela sengifrizile. Pastor, I wait. Sengifrizile nje. Guys, have you ever presented? Yeah, my man. Freezer Mike Tyson, guys, nizwile ngefight yakhe where he made 2 million. Asambe solo. Uba nomfune ring siyoyenza imali. Akeke thina basifake ku Netflix. Bafuna bononzi. Just abengena unonzi ngibopile umntana boss. Uthini Precious, hello baba wethu, thanks for the awareness. Thanks sisi, go check your document. Guys, can you please take action? When I talk about something, take it to your personal life and make sure you are sorted. When we share something, whether investment, traveling, or whatever, the tips and the tricks, go check ukuthi wena alright. Yes, there's nothing worse than you lying at the hospital and the doctor says we could have performed this awesome, tried and tested, medication or invasion ezokusiza. But an invasive whatever treatment that could have helped you at the time, but your medical aid does not cover. But you were listening to me. Get to go check what can be covered and see what you can do for things that cannot be covered. So uzithola ku-same thing, so busy. Yo, ngathi ngiyambona uba, I think it was a Sunday, abhizi lapha ekhwehlela ngekho right, mara asithanda yazi loya mfazi, and she came to give us i-awareness, ephuza ijuice yakhe. Kuzokusiza ngani ngoba you didn't take what I was sharing with you and checked it. Yeah? You didn't. You guys have bonds. About 3 million. How much is your life cover? Something happens, it needs to cover because it's not my house as yet. If it's not fully paid, guys, it's not yours. And there's nothing wrong with that. You pay towards the title deed must finally come to you from its office. But for now, it's got its office. You are sitting with the copy, and you can't get a copy, by the way, guys. You can't get a copy. A title deed for a house that is still bonded. Say a bank. Uvi uti like me, sissy, I'm back to square one. I'm using taxis to and from work. Viva took what happened. I wish I could bring you up to share your story. If you don't mind, guys, I go over there, Bora. You deprive us, guys, of it. Or hey, ma, I do wanna come and share, but I'm not a camera person. Guys, who says I'm a camera person? I had to learn because I was gonna sit with this information and everything that I've learned over the years, and how good was it going to be. But I know we are different. But if you can you can share. Can you let me know? Okay, come live, share your ordeal, share your sadness. I can just imagine how hectic and heartbreaking and discouraging that can be when you thought to yourself, okay, this part of my life is now covered, let me focus on something else, and life happens and it told Gucci, the document is not airtight, guys, more especially with cars. Hambile uyothatha balloon payment, lento yena engidiscourage ngayo. Now something happens, you still owing hundreds and thousands, if not millions of rands towards that car, and now the car is no more. Uyoqalela phansi. And guys, yes, life will happen, and sometimes it will be beyond our control. But where you can put measures in place, risks. Identify risks in all aspects of your lives and come up with controls. Let me come with iweather nje boyibona ukuthi le ishisa kakhulu like us now in Joburg. You don't leave home without your umbrella or raincoat in case it rains. You don't leave when they give a warning. You don't leave your car parked outside under with sun or tree. You look for a shade, carports, garage. That's what we are talking about. Even if that carport collapses, but you did something to cover your risk. And sorry, V, sorry, sweetheart. It's not all lost, sweetie. As long as you still go to work, you can by yourself, sacrifice. Yes, it will take you time, and really I can just imagine what you are going through, but with with time you'll be able, you know, bathi uNkulunkulu ubuyisa ngokuphindiwe okudliwe iHolocaust isikhonyana. So you'll be sorted, babes. Akawadla amandla endoda, if that verse comforts you. Hey sissy, I had a terrible hip pain from June till the 15th of November. Not sure if it's gone or not. Yo, sorry, Evie. Did you, sure. Did you go to the doctors? Did you spend a lot on it? Or you just, is that the cause of the comment that you just shared previously about being back to square one, or is it two separate incidents? We can hear you well, sis. Okay, sis, bese ngifrizile. Yebo siyakuzwa, ngiyabonga bonisile ke hambani. And guys, don't underestimate what you have. You know what God has blessed you with. Ngoba nina le tendency yokuthi uba ukhuluma ngezindlu, ukhuluma ngeimoto, I only have ABC. I'm saying go and check that little thing that you have. Angisho nithi izinto ey'ncane, akunawo mina these riches and treasures. Go check the piece of land that you bought. Maybe you haven't built. It's an asset, sis. Go make sure it is insured. Go make sure if you were to leave this earth, that piece of land will go to the rightful owners, to the right, correct, wanted beneficiaries which are in your heart, not the aunt that doesn't even phone you all of a sudden sekenze uyagijima, hawu sowuhambile, Nkosi yami, hawu ngaba la bantwana bami, and then takes that piece of land. So don't underestimate what God has given you, what the blessings that you have right now. Obviously they're still gonna multiply. They will multiply over time. But whatever you have now, take care of it, protect it, make sure it is fully insured. If you can't afford, because like we said, the more comprehensive the cover becomes, the more expensive it can be. About premiums, ask the experts, you know, what's the best way to... Guys, I hope we write very next. Sorry guys, I hope engadvezeli into snacks. Yo, Baba, I'm so conscious that make body test snacks go bananas. So ask the person who has the capabilities, who has the skill, and guys, if there was a snort, sorry, I'm sick. Just take the information, ignore the snort, close your eyes, because I'm not gonna go through this video and delete it. You know, but I'll check it. If it's not lookable, I'll remove it. Those who got the info got the info. We'll talk about this some other time, 2025 or 28 or whenever again, as long as we are still alive. So thank you so much, guys. For being here. I'm trying to think, yeah, don't underestimate, you know. When I started working, guys, I grew up with this thing, I don't believe in that, you know. For me, everything that comes from God is huge, and I cherish and treasure it, and I'm grateful for it, and I look after it. I look even after a pen. You leave your pen with me, I'll take care of it. You will find it in an awesome condition. You leave your jersey in my house, I'll look after it. I'll wash it. I'll put the best softener, fabric softener. You'll find it I take care of my things. That's why I hardly replace things because they are damaged. I replace because when I get to a state where I'm like, I've had this thing for 15 years, but you know, and you find that it's still in good condition, it's clean, it's lookable, but you feel good, let me just chop and change, you know, because I can, you know. So I'm not like people who often say, but it's nothing. I just drive. It's just a quid. It's just a small 1-bedroom house. I've got a house. I've got a house, darlings, and thank you, Lord. And I'll praise and thank God. We gave a 1 bedroom. You would get so irritated, and you're like, oh, I thought it was a 10 bedroom. And that's the person that I've always been. But I want to share with you a story where when I worked for, and I'm closing, I often share a lot of stories on Facebook at the end of my life, live videos, but let me do it here. Because some of you, not all of you, it's a small amount. Why must I even insure it? It's a small car. Why worry? People are insuring cars for 1 million. Guys, that car is a million rand worth of car for you. Pela levels, and you can't even compare. For where it is your treasures and your riches. Take care of them. When I was still working, young, popping, working for a financial institution, they would tell us, HR department will do talks and remind us, to sign those HR forms where we nominate beneficiaries. And guys, yeah, I've been blessed in a sense. I know this is irrelevant, but can we praise God since it's a Sunday and say glory unto Him? I've been blessed. I worked for big companies, my whole life until I decided to take a gap year, which soon will be gap years. Nevertheless, so HR would say, guys, it is that time of the year, so there'll be an email coming out where they say, please remember to update your documents. If you've had a newborn, include your newborn as a beneficiary towards your assets. If you are divorced, remove that man, remove that woman. Why must the person who that's divorced you or that you divorced benefit from your stuff? So there were reminders, and I'm sure you also get those reminders, and maybe some of you ignore them. Guys, take care of them. They're just as important as this topic that we're having about insurances, because it is part of protecting your assets. And guys, we were young then, and this one guy, I remember he said, hi, I'm not even gonna bother with the forms, but telling the HR personnel, because how much I don't have any assets. We just started working. Guys, we're still very young. So what's the point? What's the point of nominating my mother to get what exactly? And the HR person said, you might only have your salary bank account yakho right now. That's if it was still there, because in those years, the salary comes in, then a few days later there's a couple of rands left, if not minus, don't. And this lady said, you might have a smaller bank balance left. But rest assured, if you were to leave this earth, if you were to die, kick the buckets, this company will pay you 4 times your annual income. And most companies have that benefit, guys. Check with your HR, check your documents where it says, if you die, when you die and you still working for us, they will pay a beneficiary 4 times your annual salary. Guys, that's a lot of money. If your annual income is 600,000, how much is that? How much is that? 1.1 million? Yeah? 600,000. We're working on 5 times. Yeah, I think it's 1 point. Why it says 603 million, guys? My math was not meant. Sorry, I've been cleaning this phone. I'm tired. These touch screens and these screens are tiring, honestly. 3 million rands. So we as well, now you might be a centenary or a randedy or 1,000, but if you were to go and you're working for a company that has such beneficiaries, or you've obtained assets now over the years as you were working and you were smart and you were investing, even if, guys, it's not billions of rands or millions as yet, you're working towards that goal, but there is going to be something ku estate yakho, and you don't want to leave that something unattended, or it ends up in wrong hands of family members or friends, or some charity that you didn't even know about. So when say you couldn't stand dogs. Maybe a dog bites your child and you've got this history. You don't know if you don't see dogs. So you guys make sure ukuthi you take care of that, you complete the forms, you change the forms when they need to be updated. Umntwana akasekho, sadly so, remove the child. Yes, it's gonna be heavy. Some people will take years to remove their children if the children passed on, because it's a heavy thing to do. But remove. You divorced. Why is your man still in your documents, and your man will get this 3 million or part of this 3 million, 50% or 20%, depending on and you even have a section where you say 10-15%. And guys, be very careful with the percentages. Calculate what is 10%. 10% of 3 million imalile. No. And don't just write, oh, give nigga 15% yeah. 15% yeah, that could be hundreds and thousands of rands. Break it down, count it, look at it in red form, and know exactly what you've done. So this guy, just to close off, guys, said, oh, now that you mention it, Guti, if I passed away, there'll be, I think those years it was 4 times our salaries. We were still young guys, early 20s. And this guy said, okay, I'll complete again because I'm gonna be rich when I'm dead. And there's people who will only be rich through dying. In reality, they were struggling while alive, but when they are gone, those who are left behind, even them, they'll die rich. It's just that they won't be able to enjoy those riches. So complete those forms for those who will remain behind. Even if you don't have children, you don't have someone that you can think of, put your friend, if your friend was there for you. So this guy again, guys, this guy went and completed the form, and unfortunately the guy ain't gonna be life. You ask yourself, was it already God trying to tell him something? What was happening? Because this was a conversation, and then 2 years later or 3 years, I can't remember, the guy became diabetic. And I think he covered it or discovered later in say severe, and he went blind. I remember he used to still come to work. I will assist him with his documents, and at the time Nambe senior role, and the bank was thinking whether they should board him, and pay him while he no longer works. It became so severe. And those forms, I remember I asked him, Guti, did you take care of those forms? I'm not saying you're gonna die. But guys, sometimes we need to have these conversations without thinking too deep. When I'm sick, I look at my stuff and check, Guti, are they up to date? Who's still there that I need to remove? I cannot be dying with people that shouldn't benefit from me. So it's not wishing death. Death is inevitable. Guys. There's no dodging the bullets. But again, and he said, no, I updated it just before I went blind. Sharp. And then unfortunately he passed away, and then the claim came through. But again, I don't want to share how shocked I was in terms. Maybe I'll give it as a story completely different so that no one can tell. I'm a person who talks about my colleagues, but his form shocked the hell out of most of us, of the person that he nominated. And guys, the shocking part, and I'm not laughing, but I'm like, imagine so the form normally has a name of your beneficiary. Guys, this form, you've got it, you complete it at your place of work and even for your insurances. So it will have a name of your beneficiary, I guess. So you'll write your child's full name, your husband's full name, your dog's full name, whoever you're going to appoint, the person you want them to chow your money. It doesn't have to be all your monies, that particular part. So this was the bank's pension. And then it normally has the ID next to full names, ID, and then that percentage. This guy had this person's full names, ID. Guys, this was so controversial. and 100%. He didn't leave it at that. In most cases, we leave it at that. We'll have full name, relationship. Sometimes, yeah, good old relationship. So, daughter, if you forget mobile, if you forget it will say spouse, ID, and then the guy went at the bottom of the form and said, put his own clauses, as we're talking about clauses. Do not give my heart and your guys money to ABC. And if you need to do that, do it. Now we were shocked because it was someone that we thought would be, let me not go far. Uthini uVibin show something. Cikizwa. Hi, Cikizwa. Hi. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for listening. Yeah, do look into your insurance documents. Know what you are paying for. Nina niyahamba nihambe nithathe educational policies. 20 years later, crooks. Go check, read them, deal with the crooks on month 1, month 6. Yes, if the insurer is crooked and not straightforward, why do you wait for 20 years? You have yourself to blame as well. If you've got a funeral cover, which I said we'll talk about death and debt separately, and we'll talk about the funeral covers, what to look out for, what to be careful about. If it's a funeral cover, guys, go check. You can't expect the insurer to pay for a natural disaster when it states good you only covered for accident. Some of you nibhatala every month. Awuyazi the funeral cover yakho it only pays or stops paying at age so and so. You've got your mom there. They won't pay for her anymore because maybe she's past the age. But I'll check. Years are going by. We're going towards the end of the year. You will be on holiday. Those who take leaves, the leave or forced leave, compulsory leave, whatever you say. But those who will be working, you save so much money. If you'll be at home, look into your documents. Shiyani labacala nemithwalo Lord the cross in 2024. Move forward with peace. Move forward knowing exactly what you are paying for. So may the Almighty God continue to bless you. And guys, can I just pray and ask God to bless those who wish they can work for companies where one of the benefits is to say, when you pass on, your beneficiaries will get 5 times your annual salary, 7 times. Now, yes, it's money you want to enjoy, but some insurances are different. There's monies that you will personally enjoy, like your retirement if you're still around, but some covers are for your loved ones. May you get to test that type of life if you've never worked for a company and about benefits. I pray, Gucci, you find yourself there. And those who have assets and things and farms, may God help you to take care of your stuff. You've worked hard, you've plowed, you've harvested. I-harvest yakho loko sowuhambile isivuno. Where are you keeping your sivuno? Where are your fruits? Where is your harvest kept? Are you keeping it where the sun is just and the animals are eating every single day? By the time you wake up, there'll be nothing left. Or you surely and truly taking care of what you've worked hard for. I guess, guys, I've worked very hard, although people always say I work smart for my things. I shall not allow any figures which I've never seen in my life. I don't even know what color they are, how long or short they are. Says this so deeper into my assets. I take care of what I've worked hard for as much as I can. Of course, we have no control over everything. But I love you. Stay blessed.